Ellarku Namaskara. I think this is my first time ever addressing the press and the media in Bangalore. And Kannada cinema has been doing so well these days, and I cannot wait to debut in the industry and do a film in Kannada, the language. I will do my best to learn the language and speak it as soon as I can. But I'm very glad that somehow I'm still debuting with this film, even when it's a dubbed version. The original version is in Hindi, but when I just saw the trailer, I think the dub is amazing. Special applause to the dubbing artists who dubbed for all of us. If I may say so, I truly think that the dubbing is even better than my original voice in Hindi. I genuinely felt I had goosebumps when I watched the trailer, and we watched it twice, and both the times I had goosebumps. So I think she has done a phenomenal job, and kudos to her for that. And yeah, for the rest, I'm very excited, more nervous, because this is a very dark, raw, gritty, and very difficult film to watch. I personally had a very tough time shooting it. Even sir had a difficult time behind the scenes. There were so many scenes where we both got emotional. The whole crew got emotional when we were shooting, because I cannot even begin to imagine what happens. Her whole life changes, and this is a story of survival. And I truly hope that when the film releases and people watch it, it gives them the power, the hope to believe that you can come out of it if there is presence of mind comes, if it comes into play at the right time. So that is, I think, the message that we're trying to give through the film. And thank you so much for coming out here. And yeah, thank you. Sorry? Is it based on that? I remember when the Nirbhaya case happened. It unfortunately happened on my birthday, 16th December. Yeah, I was in college, and there was a college festival happening. December is a very jolly time of the year, Christmas, New Year's, and we had our college festival. So I was in the local train going to the festival, and the news broke out about the Nirbhaya case. And I started crying. All my friends, we were all together in the local train. Everybody started crying because of how I have goosebumps as I speak about it, because of how gut wrenching that whole incident is. I think it has changed all of India, because the whole nation came together in solidarity with the victim, and there were so many movements that happened post that. And yeah, that is something that I can never forget, because it happened on my birthday, and every single birthday it serves as a reminder of what happened and what still continues to happen in this country, and that women are still not safe. No matter how much we progress, that big step, not one, many big steps still need to be taken. And yeah, I'm just hoping that that change comes soon. I feel like we can begin with imparting self-defense lessons, making that a part of school curriculums, at least once in 2 weeks, once in a month. There should be a seminar that's conducted. I personally do many of those. We have our karate academy where I stay in Kalyan, Mohan's Planet. We host a lot of these self-defense seminars, and I have always said that I am more than willing to contribute and be a part of a movement that helps to bring about a change in this society and helps empower women. So,
How challenging was it?
extremely challenging, because the first 3 days, for any film, it takes around 2 to 3 days to sink into the character, to gel with the crew. So the first 2 3 days, I thought, I can do this. I've done better things. I've done difficult things in life. But I was wrong. I wasn't prepared for it, because oh my god, there were 35 days almost of shooting in the car non-stop, maintaining continuity, because we shot from scene number 1 to scene number 100 in that order. So as the film progressed, my mental trauma and my emotional trauma also progressed with it, because it's a very raw film. Like I said, we have shown how much a person breaks mentally when something like this happens. So I remember shooting, after the shooting ended, it took me a few months to fully come out of it. It has been an extremely dark but a traumatic experience, but at the same time I've learned so much about myself as an actor, and most importantly as a woman. I've had a great experience. So a lot of memories from the shoot.
Any message from this film to society, especially girls?
I think from what I can see in the trailer, I don't want to give away a spoiler about the film, but from what I can see in the trailer, it talks about survival. It talks about the fact that, so this is what I say when I impart self-defense seminars and trainings. I always say that in situations like this, no matter how trained you can be an Olympian, you can be a boxer, you can be a wrestler. But when something like this happens, the mind stops working, your whole body stops responding. You just go in a state of extreme panic because you never know if you will even make out of this situation alive. They might kill you, they might do whatever they want with you and discard you like a piece of garbage. So your whole body stops responding to that. Because I'm a professional fighter, so what happens is when I go into my fighting tournaments and the round one begins, now I have trained for this all my life, but there's this thing called lactic acid that releases in the entire body, and you start feeling your muscles going numb because there is so much pressure, there is so much stress of winning that gold medal, and that is still in a positive direction. I cannot even imagine what happens when things go down the drain and it's life threatening. So that is when I say your muscle memory comes into play. How much you have trained in your life, how much you have practiced certain moves, how strong you are physically, because that strength physically enables you to be strong mentally also. And most importantly, it is all here, all the courage. I hope, I mean, I feel that when all that is clubbed along with the presence of mind and the right course of action, there is still hope.
You already won national award for your performance.
Yes, sir.
What made you to accept to act in this movie? Script or director?
I think it was an amalgamation of both the script and the director, because when I first met Sir, this kind of a movie to be written by a man, is a big deal, because he truly understood what a woman feels, and to understand that was an automatic given, that he has the depth to understand how a woman feels in a situation like that. So that was an instant connect for me, and I feel like we both feel very passionately about this project and this subject and the society and what happens with women on the whole. So I connected with him on a large scale, and then the script was amazing. When I first read the script, I could not put it down. So that is what made me say yes to it. And also, I think it's a very important topic, and it sends out a very important message which the society needs to see. I know it's a very difficult watch. It's going to be a hard film to sit through, but it is a must. So,
ಈ ರೇಪ್
Thank you, sir.
ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರೀ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ?
did I?
Yes, sir. You have studied before doing this movie. Have you studied rape survivor stories and all?
I mean, honestly, this is going to be a very sad thing what I'm going to say, but I feel like one doesn't even need to study rape survival stories or rape stories because of just how often it happens in this country. Every time I look at the news, I see so many notifications of it happening to barely a few months old baby, a 2-year-old baby, a boy, a girl, an old lady, to everybody. So much assault, such dangerous things keep happening to women. And I have friends, I am a woman, we have all experienced it in some or the other ways. We have all experienced it. I always get emotional when I talk about it, because this is something that is it takes a lot of courage to speak about. It takes a lot of vulnerability to speak about. And everybody has experienced it. Every woman has experienced it. Some people don't even know when it happened. Maybe they were like 3 years old going to kindergarten. Maybe something happened. They do not know that. But yeah, the performance came from a very personal space inside of me. That is why it's so real. So I did not need to do a study for that. I'm a woman, and I feel that pain 24/7. Even today when I walk on the street or when I'm going back home late, even during the day, there is always that sense of panic. There is always that sense of fear. Oh, will I get home safe? Should I send my dad a message saying on the way? I'll send him my cab location, this, that. That is always something we all women, everybody here will relate. We always think about that. So it did not require a special study for it. I just embraced the role as a woman that I am, and it happened.
Can I add?
Yes.
I'll just add to what you had asked. So this film is not necessarily about rape. Okay, the film is about what happens before the headline happens. What you read in the newspaper is the act. Such and such thing happened, such and such location, and all that.
Only the conclusion.
Only the conclusion. The idea behind you also, sir, asked about the Nirbhaya thing. This is not directly inspired by Nirbhaya case. but Nirbhaya was a trigger to start thinking about the script, because my at that time everyone was shocked. I was also shocked. Uh, I was living in US. I did my filmmaking from US, so I had just come back to India, and few months later this happened. So I was really, really stunned. I wrote posts on Facebook also. I don't know how to feel. If I enjoy a cookie, I feel guilty, you know. Even while talking now, because it really shook me. We have heard about rape news. We have heard that particular thing was those other acts they did, which are horrendous. How could somebody even think? See, I'm not saying you can understand rape, but rape, there is some sexual power thing going on, right? But what about this other thing? What kind of anger is it? Inserting a rod and all that. Who are these people? What kind of thinking, what environment do they come from? That's why you see when excuse me, when she's snatched inside the car, the 90% of the film is inside the car. So the audience is trapped with the girl. You cannot look away. There is no other second storyline. There is no track to cut to. You must feel what she feels. And you saw those dialogues. They are double meaning dialogues. On the surface, they are not bad. He's just talking about chicken and murgi and all that, you know. But when you put a girl in there, you get the context. So the film is not about rape per se. The film is about how men look at women. He says, she's my birthday cake, and you will cut it first. You know, men talk like that. We all know. Between men talk like this. Things are changing for good, but men are also part of same culture, right? We are not come from different planet. We are also part of the same culture only, and we are also growing as we are also understanding this is not right. This kind of comment is not right. In office, to tell a double meaning joke in the presence of a woman is not right. You know, many other things we have heard, you know, so we are also getting sensitive to the fact. So what I did was, I put all this cultural, all the four men in the car represent four different types of men in the society. There are two brothers. The younger one is the clear antagonist, whose idea comes from porn and all that. The elder brother, without giving too much away of the film, they represent different kind of men. And the thing with Ritika's character Sakshi, I did not want a filmy character. Like suddenly in second half, you know, she starts fighting, and that's throughout she remains a normal everyday girl. You know, we have also heard these things like how society blames the girl or the woman. You know, she must have been drunk, that's why it happened to her. She must have been wearing revealing clothes or short skirt, that's why it happened to her. She must have been walking alone in the dark street, that's why it happened to her. So I deliberately wrote a character who is fully dressed. She is in broad daylight on a bus stop. Even then she gets snatched, because these things happen. So the film has many layers where it makes observations rather than taking a stance. You know, if an audience doesn't want to engage in all these issues, it's a thriller. It will work as a thriller. But even if you watch second time the trailer, you'll start getting how that guy says, what will you do working in the call center? Every line, every dialogue has been thought. He says, you will call people. Okay, I'll take it. Will you give me? You know what he's talking about. So the film works on many levels, you know. It's not just about rape. It's not about rape. It's about how men look at women. And then there are other angles in the film which I don't want to reveal. That's when you have to watch the whole film.
Question ಇದೆ.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಇದು 5 ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ನಾನೇ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕು ಅಂದರೆ ವೆರಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ನಾವು ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳೋದು ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಬಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನನಗೆ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ಸು ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ತಮಿಳ್, ತೆಲುಗು ಮತ್ತು ಮಲಯಾಳಂ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 30 ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮಾಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 70ರಿಂದ 70 to 80 ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಒಂದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಕನ್ನಡ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 22 ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ, ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ. ನಾನು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಟ್ರೈಲರ್ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋಂಥ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಥರ ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಬಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಕೇಳೋದಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಸರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾಮೂಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ, ತೆಲುಗು ಏರಿಯಾಗಳ ಕಡೆ ತೆಲುಗು ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ತಮಿಳ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ತಮಿಳ್ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 23 ಸೆಂಟ್ರ್ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
You have entered the Kannada industry with this cinema. In future, have you think about Kannada, full-fledged Kannada cinema?
I actually love learning languages, and I remember my first ever experience in life coming to South India and learning a South Indian language and doing a South Indian film was my first film, Iridi Sutru. That was in Tamil. I have never spoken Tamil in my whole life before that, but I love learning languages, and I'm genuinely a very curious person, and I'm very intrigued by culture. So when I first saw the script, my lights went out. I was like, this is too difficult. I can't do this. But I learned the whole script, and this is my first time hearing Kannada properly, and I can already understand. So I'm thinking if I get a good script and I can sit on it and learn the dialogues properly, I feel like I'll be able to do a pretty good job speaking the lines, because I'm good with the language and I am more than happy to pick it up. So if a good Kannada script comes, I would be willing to do it, like maybe an action film or a comedy, a romantic comedy, a thriller. I'm open to anything as long as the script packs that punch. So thank you so much.
Okay.
ಎಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾದ ನಿರ್ಮಾಪಕರು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು. ನಾಗರಾವು ಚಿತ್ರ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿಷ್ಣುವರ್ಧನ್ ರವ್ರನ್ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಜಿದ್ ಕುರೇಶಿ ಸರ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಇದು. ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಂತಹ ಕೆಲವು ಘಟನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಆಧರಿಸಿ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಚಿತ್ರ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್. ತುಂಬ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ನಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃತಿಕಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಹಾಗೂ ಅದನ್ನು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹರ್ಷವರ್ಧನ್ ಸರ್. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಸದಾ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಬೆನ್ನೆಲುಬಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲುವಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಜಿದ್ ಕುರೇಶಿ ಸರ್ಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓಡಲಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ವೆಂಕಟ್ ಗೌಡರು ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಥಿಯೇಟ್ರ್ಗಳ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇದು ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಸಿನಿಮಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ವೆಂಕಟಗೌಡರು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಥಿಯೇಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನೋಡಲಿ. ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೇಳ್ಬರ್ತೀನಿ.
ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಮರ್ತಿದೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಯೋಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ಥ್ರೂ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾನು ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
Okay. It is to cinema, but Kannada audience were also waiting for these kind of
ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಇದೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಂಥ ಸಿನಿಮಾ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಅವಾಗಿಂದ ಅವ್ರು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಆ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟು ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ.